Premier Doug Ford and Transportation Minister Caroline Mulroney are making a transit announcement in Hamilton. Let's listen in live now.
Every year, and we need our infrastructure to keep up. Premier Ford is leading an ambitious plan to build Ontario, and public transit is a key piece of this puzzle, and it's no secret that our plans are bold. Our PC government is moving at an unprecedented speed to get shovels in the ground for the largest expansion of public transit in the province's history. This work is a key part of our government's plan to fight gridlock, better connect regions, and create jobs. Premier Ford is filling the transit gap that has existed in the GTHA for far too long, and unlocking access to a world-class transit network that will benefit Ontarians for generations to come. Thank you, je vous remercie. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Premier Ford.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Minister Mulroney, for the kind introduction and the incredible work that Caroline has done to build transit all over Ontario. Just an amazing minister. And let me say, it's an absolute pleasure to be back in Hamilton, as the mayor said, the Great Hammer, alongside Minister Mulroney and Minister Lumsden and MPP Skelly. And I just want to give Donna a shout out. You know, she worked her back off for 4 years, taking care of everyone in Hamilton. And I have to introduce the #1 champion, Mayor Fred Eisenberger. Mayor, you've been an incredible partner. The first day we met 4 years ago, we just hit it off, worked hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, to bring so many great opportunities to the people of Hamilton, and here is one today. I'm also pleased to be joined by our great friend from LiUNA, Joe Mancinelli, and Victoria, and Anthony. Thank you for always coming, and talk about a champion for Hamilton. Joe always has the interest of the people here in Hamilton. This is his roots, and I'll tell you, Joe, we're just very grateful for all the hard work that you do day in and day out. My friends, Ontario is growing. Every month, thousands of newcomers are choosing our province as their new home, as they come in search of good jobs and new opportunities. Over the next 10 years, our population will increase by more than 2 million people. And Hamilton and the surrounding region will be big drivers of that growth. More and more people know that Hamilton and Stoney Creek are fantastic places to live, work, start a business, and raise a family. But to handle this growth, to ensure we're able to support economic development, to stay competitive, we need to build. We need to build roads, highways, and transit. That's why we're building the new Confederation GO station right here in Hamilton. When built, this station will connect Hamilton with the GO train network, offering two-way, all-day service along the Lakeshore West Line. That's an absolute game changer for the people of Hamilton. As we expand GO train service, we're delivering faster commute times and more transit options, so people spend less time on the QEW stuck in gridlock and more time at home with their families. Previous governments talked a lot about bringing GO train service to Hamilton and Niagara. They had decades to deliver, but never did. Our government is getting it done. We're getting shovels in the ground to build more transit here in Hamilton and right across Ontario. These are big numbers. We're investing $86.6 billion over the next 10 years to build roads, highways, transit, including Highway 413, the Bradford Bypass, and expanding GO train service to more regions of the province. My friends, we're building Ontario, and along with our great partners like Metrolinx, LiUNA, and the City of Hamilton, we're building it together. Let's get it done. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario.
We'll now take questions from the media. If reporters with questions could please form a line behind me at the microphone. It'll be one question and one follow-up per reporter.
Morning, Mr. Premier.
Hi.
Liam Case with the Canadian Press.
How are you?
Good, thank you. The negotiations are happening right now with CUPE's education workers. Is the government willing to show any flexibility on its wage offer?
Well, what we're focusing on is making sure that the students are in the classrooms, giving a reassurance to the parents, especially what everyone's gone through over the last 2 years. But we aren't going to budge on the fact that we want the kids in the classroom without disruption. I know Minister Lecce has been doing a great job. Our officials are at the table every single day to make sure they have a fair deal for the teachers and a fair deal for the people of Ontario. And we're confident we're going to get it done.
And a follow-up to that, the workers recently had a 96.5% vote in favor of striking. If they do strike, would you legislate them back to work?
Well, again, there's one thing that we've said right from the beginning. We don't want any disruptions in the school. We want to make sure the students have a good experience along with the certainty for the parents. So I'm asking to the unions, the teachers' unions, please don't go on strike. Don't force my hand. Just please, continue negotiating, because I'm a strong believer in negotiating. But do not go on strike.
Hey, good morning, Premier Colin DeMello from Global
Colin,
News.
How are you?
Well, thank you.
Good.
What does "don't force my hand" mean when it comes to Ontario's educators?
Well, all I want to do, Colin, where everyone is negotiating in good faith, and that's the way the process should work. We're at the table every day. We have a very good deal on the table, and we just want to work with them. And we don't want to go through like we did for the last 2 years and kids not being in class. We just want the kids in the class. We want to give the parents certainty. And I just want a fair negotiation for everyone. We have some of the greatest teachers anywhere in the world as far as I'm concerned. They're great people. They work their backs off. And I just appreciate everything they do day in and day out.
Okay, so if we're talking about appreciation in terms of financial compensation, there is a really huge divide between CUPE workers currently at the bargaining table and what the government is offering. You've talked a lot about helping workers, being there for low-paid workers in Ontario as well. Do you feel like it's time to maybe push up the offer that the government has placed on the table so that CUPE workers don't have to go on strike to get what they want?
Yeah, and thanks for that question, Colin. I think we're being very fair. I'm not going to get into the weeds on negotiations, but we've put 8% over 4 years on the table. I think that's fair. The teachers' unions, they want 50%. Everyone knows that's not realistic, but we're going to negotiate fairly, treat everyone fairly, and get the kids an opportunity to stay in school without interruptions, with extracurriculars. And again, I just want to thank the teachers for the great job that they do, and thank the parents as well.
Hi, Premier Dustin Cook with the Globe and Mail.
Hi, Dustin.
The province gave the healthcare colleges 2 weeks to come up with plans to accredit more international healthcare workers. Those plans and regulatory changes are now back with the province. What is the timeline for those to come into effect? And do you think that it will curb the challenges that ERs are still facing across the province right now?
Well, we're just encouraging the colleges of nurses to move as quickly as possible. I know Minister Jones is all over this. We need more nurses. We brought on close to 14,500 nurses over 4 years, but we need more. We're going to be hiring 28,000 new PSWs as well. So we need people from all over the world with their foreign credentials. They'll get approved, and we'll get them to work. I think our frontline healthcare workers are amazing people. They work long hours, and I just want to thank them for all the great work that they do.
Following up on that, we haven't heard much about the plan to increase surgeries in private clinics since it was announced. Has the government been meeting with clinics on this, and when is that expected to roll out?
Yeah, so we've been talking to the CEOs, been talking to nurses, and we know the status quo just isn't working. We're all coming up with great ideas, and no one understands it better than the CEOs of the hospitals that run our province's healthcare day in and day out. And we just need to come up with a different methodology. But I can guarantee you one thing: no one in Ontario, as long as I'm Premier, is going to be paying with their credit cards. They're going to pay with their OHIP cards. We need a lot of support to get these backlog surgeries back in line, and we're going to. There isn't a day that goes by we aren't having meetings with healthcare experts. Even as this morning, I just got off the phone with Andy Smith at Sunnybrook, and his comments were, and I'll quote him, that there's no government that's put more effort, more resources more flexibility into the healthcare system than we have. And he runs one of the top-notch hospitals in the world, Sunnybrook. I want to thank Andy and the rest of the CEOs for all their support. And you know, just being able to call up at any time, call the Minister of Health, call the Premier, and say, here are my top 5 ideas. And they've just been incredible supporters. So I'm very grateful for that.
Hi, Premier.
Hi.
You talked about wanting to have a fair negotiation with CUPE. Isn't, you know, basically telling them to accept what's at the table because you think it's fair or else? Isn't that a threat?
Oh, no, I didn't say accept what we put on the table or else. What I said is please, and I'm begging you, don't go on strike. It's as simple as that. We're going to continue to negotiate, and it goes back and forth with any negotiations. We've been through it before, and we're going to come up with a final number that they're hopefully happy, we're happy, and as long as they stay in school and there's no disruptions, that's all we're asking.
And I have a question for Minister Mulroney, actually.
Yes.
Hi, Minister. CTV has government records that show that the license sticker refunds has resulted in millions of dollars in payments to people who have many cars. Was that the intention of this program, or would you contemplate some sort of cap?
Well, the purpose of the program was to deal with the rising cost of living that so many Ontarians, all of us, are dealing with. Our focus has been putting money back into people's pockets. We cut tolls on the 412 and the 418. We provided a temporary cut to the gas tax of 5.7 cents per litre. And the vast majority of Ontarians received a refund of under $1,200. So obviously there are some very rare cases of some people who own a large number of cars, but we are very pleased that we've been able to put so much money back into people's pockets to help them when they need it most.
Minister of Transportation. Jamie with City TV. Sorry to make you walk back and forth there. But basically I'm asking about the Eglinton Crosstown. When is it going to open? The delay is, there's been several emails to your office and to Metrolinx that has gone unanswered to Nick, our reporter working on this. So when is the Crosstown going to be open? What's the date?
Well, obviously everyone's disappointed with the delays that are affecting the Eglinton Crosstown LRT project. Our priority is to make sure that it opens safely as soon as possible.
That's not a date, but I'm sure there in contracts there is a date there that you're just not going to disclose. But that, I don't want to burn up my second question. The next one is to the Premier, please.
So just to follow up on your question, and you know, this is frustrating. I'm frustrated. The minister's frustrated. We inherited this project, Jamie, from the previous Liberal government that just boondoggled it. The good news is the Eglinton West line that the minister, you know, is heading up there. We got a call on a conversation with Metrolinx that they're 4 to 6 weeks ahead of schedule on the boring machine, so that's great news. We're going to make sure that any issues that the previous government had on Eglinton East, we learned by their mistakes and make sure it doesn't happen on Eglinton West. But we have a very aggressive transit plan. It is the largest in North America, over $30 billion, 4 lines, and I can't wait to get the LRT going here in Hamilton. Again, one of the leaders of that was Joe Mancinelli. And thank you again, Joe, for taking care of the people of Hamilton. But another true leader was the minister and the mayor. That's why I told the mayor today when I saw him, I said, my heart pitter-patters the day you leave, because he's just such a great guy. And Mayor, if you're out fishing, you get bored, we have lots of opportunities for you. So thank you for everything you do.
And Mr. Premier, this question is for you. Could you give more details on what you're expecting for the expedition of housing construction? How's that going to work?
Yeah.
The fees are now going to be dropped, I understand, as the reports are in the paper. But also, the biggest problem with construction, affordable housing in the city is you get every councillor going, yes, it's a great idea, but I don't think it's a fit in my... You've been in city council.
Absolutely. Yeah, I live that down there, and you get the NIMBYism. Yeah, where's the houses? But don't do it in my backyard. Do it in my neighbor's backyard. So we're going to use all the tools to allow the municipalities to work with us. We're working very collaboratively with the federal government. They have a $4 billion fund, which we'll be seeing probably 40% of that. But we're all working in unison. We know that we have to get attainable housing. And Jamie, people want their key to go in their door, open it up, the white picket fence, the whole shebang, and that's what we're going to do. And we're going to continue working hard with Minister Clark and his team. But most importantly is working collaboratively in cooperation with the municipalities, the regions, and the federal government. Where we all seem to be singing off the same song sheet, so we're going to get it done. We have a very ambitious goal of 1.5 million homes over the next 10 years, and I think we're going to, as a matter of fact, I know we're going to get it done. So it's going to be an opportunity for people to have their own home.
You were just listening live there to Premier Doug Ford and Transportation Minister Caroline Mulroney speaking in Hamilton today, announcing the new Confederation GO station in Hamilton. It will apparently connect Hamilton with a GO train network, offering more services. You also heard Premier Doug Ford there just answering questions from reporters, and a number of those questions were about the CUPE workers currently at the bargaining table. And Premier Doug Ford was questioned a couple of times on him saying that he was asking education workers to, quote, not force his hand, and he says he's asking them again not to strike.